Welcome to the Rondo Show. We are back for our second semi-final of our Euros themed show, the second series of the Rondo Show. Come on, man. It is summer 2024. The season is over. Madrid have won the Champions League again. But we are over into international football where everybody can get involved. It is your boy AA, co-host and judge, joined by
Marcus, you know the deal.
Come on. And in the Rondo today, it's been a little bit of a while, Rahimi.
It's been a while still.
My guy, man. Tell them what you're saying and who you're repping.
Yeah, no, I'm back still, one way or no way. I'm loyal to the soil. Manchester United till I die.
Cool. In regards to the Euros, who's your team? England?
I ain't got a choice. But yeah, it's England still.
It's England still. Think that we can win it?
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
I think the onus is on us to win it. So
Okay. Nice one. And we got our guy Khadar back in the building.
Yeah,
reigning champion.
Like
Are you trying to reclaim your throne, bro?
Inshallah, I hope so. But I don't know, man. We'll see. Euros.
You don't
Get some
sound too
techie, get some
confident.
techie,
This
get
guy's
some
so much
techie.
ability, so little confidence. Always.
you see me,
Marcus Rashford.
nah,
How
man.
you been today, though? I know you rep Arsenal
Yeah, man.
in terms of club, but in terms of Euros, you feeling for England this?
I'm an England fan.
Okay.
But with Gareth Southgate, I don't know if we'll win. Because the guy is just, he's a terrorist of football. I really don't like the way he plays.
Pretty damn harsh, but no, fair enough. So, without further ado, let us start the Rondo. The first round of the Rondo. Engage the Rondo. Engage the Rondo is the first round of the Rondo Show. Contestants present a take on the show's topic and are grilled to test its strength. They are then rated by the judges. Let's go through how it will work. Contestants are to come forward to present a bold football take for a maximum of 60 seconds. The Rondo will then begin. It will commence with what we call first pass free. So the judges will instruct their rival contestant to ask a challenging question on their take. After this is answered, the judges will get involved and lead full-on grilling. The Rondo is in full motion. They will then receive a score out of 10 from each judge for the first round, utilising our ACE framework: audacity, credibility, and explanation. The contestant score from each judge will then be averaged out of 10 and the winner will be announced for the first round. Where contestants come forward and give us our Rondo on our topic. Who would like to go first? Khadar, you're going first. So my bro, tell me, once you said your Rondo, as you know, you'll have a minute to argue it and then the grilling begins.
Right. Portugal was severely underperforming this year's Euros.
Okay. Nice. You got the timer ready, my bro? Okay. 3, 2, 1. Let's go. Let me hear it.
Whilst Portugal do have a good midfield with Bruno Fernandes, João Palhinha, and Vitinha, everything around it I'm not too sure about. Obviously, Pepe showed his worth against Arsenal in the Champions League this year. However, he is old. International football is a lot more open than, in my opinion, than club football. And I feel like he'll get a bit more exposed with the quality of attackers in the tournament.
Okay.
Cristiano Ronaldo up top. Obviously, one of the greatest players of all time. But I feel like he's going to be a hindrance to the team as he was in the World Cup. And I feel like I haven't really seen much of Rafa Leao this season, but from what I've seen, I haven't been impressed. So I just don't think that they have what it takes to win this tournament or even get past the quarterfinal stages, which is a push in my opinion.
Okay. All right. Cool. Okay. Time? Oh, about 5 seconds left, so we're all good. Okay. You guys know how it works from here. First pass three. First pass free. So his fellow contestant will ask a question to open up the grilling.
I just feel like Portugal have a wide array of players, that can affect the game in a positive way. Bernardo Silva, Bruno Fernandes. Do you think that they'll remain quiet throughout this tournament?
I feel like those two in particular will be their best performing players. However, I just feel like Roberto Martinez, the way he plays football, we've seen him, he completely messed up Belgium's golden generation, which had
We're starting to cook a little bit more
arguably a few better defenders. It was probably similar quality of teams. Obviously, Ronaldo's the big difference maker there, even though he's old. I don't feel like they're going to be able to affect the game because they wouldn't be given the freedom to play how they usually play for their clubs.
Okay. Elaborate, please, on the messing up of Belgium's golden generation, because to me it wasn't a mess up at all. They met France, who went on to win the World Cup, and arguably the semi-final that we watched between Belgium and France was the final.
Yeah.
What I saw from Belgium,
as well,
Belgium throughout that World Cup were absolutely unreal. Arguably the best team. It's just unfortunate they met another team full of superpowers and crazy individuals. But what I saw from Belgium and Martinez in that run has proven to me that he's able to take players of a certain caliber and make them play well in a tournament environment.
I hear that, but you're thinking of one tournament in that occasion. 2018, they played very well, and you can argue that most of those players were in their prime in that tournament. But then again, they did go out in the 2014. They underperformed in all the Euros that they've played in. They underperformed in the 2022 World Cup, although it is.
I think 22 World Cup.
Yeah, we'll give them a play on that. But it was a weaker team, but they still underperformed at the back end of their golden generation. And also, what we've seen from Roberto Martinez in club football since he was at Wigan, I haven't seen anything that moves me from the guy, and I don't think he'll be able to do it here.
I'm not necessarily disagreeing with that. However, club football and football for your country is completely different.
100%.
We've seen Southgate, for example, be relegated with teams in leagues in the Premier League.
Did nothing substantial
and then if you compare that in terms of what he's done for England, and even then, there's still so much criticism on the man. I'm one of the people that criticises him heavily. He's created a camaraderie within our camp, and we now play football that isn't necessarily the best to watch, but I know that we can get results and we go far in tournaments. That's why I'm so confident going into this Euros that we can win. So I think club football, comparing what a manager's done for club football and what they're doing for their country, is too vastly different.
Also, just to come in here, just to grow even further before you even get to answer that question. When you talk about, I feel like moving back onto Portugal and the way like you dismissed that, you went through a lot of players there, you know, like across defence, midfield, and okay, maybe an attack, maybe not up top. They have that many options, but there's a lot of quality there. Do you feel like, apart from England and France, who has more quality than Portugal? Who do you think has the ability to really knock them out?
Germany, I believe so, because it's their tournament, they're on home turf.
Okay.
Toni Kroos's last tournament, power, friendship, and things of that nature. They're gonna think. I feel like they're gonna rise up. No, but I do feel like maybe the talent-wise, they might not have more certain countries, but as a team, they're gonna play better and they're gonna beat them if they do end up playing each other. I feel like
who?
Germany will beat them, France will beat them, England will beat them.
That's three
do feel
teams.
like
Who
Spain
won?
might beat them also.
It's a roll.
I feel like Spain might beat them also. You're forgetting who Spain got. Grimaldo's there. Lamine Yamal's a good player, young but a good player. Rodri, Gavi, Pedri. They've got a good team. David Raya maybe a goal. Or it might be Unai Simon. But I feel like they could beat them too. I don't fancy Portugal's chances.
Okay. Do you think they could also have like a surprise exit as well? Like you think like maybe
they could get surprised in the round of 16.
Okay.
Maybe, I don't know. I'm not.
All right, cool. No, I think we've had enough there. All right.
Our criteria for scoring you is the ACE criteria, as you know. That's audacity, credibility, and explanation. Do I think your argument was audacious? No, not really. It didn't really move me off my seat. It wasn't anything out there, but it was still a decent argument and a credible point to make. I still believe, like you mentioned a few players, but they have a lot more players that can come in and affect games. They're actually quite stacked in attacking and midfield positions. I don't feel like you delved into exactly why these players won't perform in this tournament. You did mention Roberto Martinez, but you didn't explain what about his football makes it harder for these players to have more freedom. How's he going to play? And given that, with what Rahimi said, international football, I don't believe is more free-flowing than club football. Is actually quite rigid and a bit more stiff. So Roberto Martinez football possibly helps that in a sense. But I would say you were articulate. You did have a structured argument. So I'm going to give you a 6.
Cool. Yeah, I'll just go through it quickly. I agree with a lot of what Marcus said. I think audacity-wise, it was okay. I do think Portugal are one of the teams people definitely favour. So I actually, to be fair, in contrast to Marcus, I think it was a fairly audacious claim. Nothing crazy though. Credibility-wise, it was a credible point. I do think, even though Portugal seemed like a strong team, I don't know, something about them just doesn't quite convince me. And I feel like, yeah, and you kind of conveyed that. And the explanation was decent as well, but I just don't feel like I wasn't really brought into the argument. There was no particular point where I thought, yeah, we're really starting to cook here. Yeah, I'm really believing that Portugal could really falter here. I still feel like it's a bit open in the air. So it's a 6 from me as well. Okay. Cool. All right. Moving swiftly on. Rahimi, you're up.
All right.
What's your Rondo?
My Rondo today is that I think MBAPPE absolutely has to do well at this tournament. Like, it's very, very essential. I'll start off by saying...
Okay, cool. 1 second. The timer starts.
Essential for what?
I think for his... Personally, and also for his legacy, I think it's integral that he does incredibly well this tournament. But
legacy for what?
Well, he was going to explain that in the thing.
You want to start the Rondo with a good headline.
So for me,
So
for me personally, I think MBAPPE could be one of the best players ever. Like I mean, of all time ever. He's already done. He's already done things that are exceptional. Hat trick in the World Cup final.
So is the Rondo winning the Euros is important for his legacy to be the best
I think
of
so.
his time?
I think so.
Okay,
and
cool.
I'll explain.
All right, let's get it going. You know I need my headlines, bro.
So, yeah, the first thing I'll start with is on a personal level. The last tournament that they were in, Mbappe is the individual that missed the penalty that got them knocked out of the tournament. So personally, for his own sort of gratification and coming back, he needs to perform well for his country to make sure that they do well. That's the first thing. Secondly, there's 2 other players in the world right now that are operating at an incredibly high level, but have also got the trophies to back that, and they are also playing in competitions this summer that are integral for their own legacies.
Yeah,
we've got Vinicius Junior and Bellingham both at the same club. So the two of those individuals have operated at an incredibly high level this season in La Liga, winning it, but also in the Champions League and winning it. Something Mbappe hasn't been able to do for his own club, winning the Champions League. I think those two and the PR that they both have, because we both know Bellingham's PR is stupid. So anything he does is highlighted to the maximum.
10 seconds left.
10 seconds. Yeah. Everything he does is highlighted to the maximum. In comparison to Mbappe, who is world class in his own right.
Yeah.
But those 2 other players have way more going for them currently. And I think that if they do well in the Euros and in the Copa America, Vinicius and Bellingham,
then what? No.
then they would both easily be in sort of the ranking, be higher than Mbappe. Not for me personally, from a talent perspective, I think Mbappe is one of the best players that I've ever seen.
I have to stop it there.
Yeah, sorry.
I need that for my reel, I can't lie.
Sorry.
I needed that for my TikTok, I can't lie. I
had more, but I didn't know it was...
It went so fast. It's quick, bro. It's quick, bro.
If you lot gave me 2 minutes, I would have...
Yeah, what you need to do is you need to watch
look at the time. Yeah, no, man, I would have made some jollof, man. I was cooking it, bro.
All right, cool. First pass free.
Grilling.
Grilling.
I understand your point, but Vinicius and Bellingham arguably have just been better than him over the past 2 seasons. Mbappe came onto the scene, won the World Cup, 2 goals in the final as a 17, 18-year-old, hat-trick in the World Cup final in 2022. What makes these for like 3-4 years from Bellingham and Vinicius overtake what Mbappe's been doing since 2017?
1 year from June.
Yeah, so
1 year.
So as we know, the Ballon d'Or isn't just about what a player's been doing for their whole career. If it was, Messi would win it every single year without fail.
Okay.
If that was the case. So my point being that what Bellingham and Vinicius have done this season, if you isolate this season alone, they've won the league for their club and they've both won the Champions League. Massive. They've both been integral for both of those runs. Is the other thing. One with an assist in the final, one with a goal in the final. I think that if Bellingham has a very good Euros, coupled with the PR and the 2 other trophies he's won this year, he has an incredibly high chance of finishing number 1 Ballon d'Or or number 2. That automatically pushes Mbappe to number 3. Vinicius, likewise. He has a good Copa America, which the likelihood of him doing that is high. He's already got the Champions League, scored in the Champions League final, won the La Liga for his club. Those 3 things, if those 3 things go in both of their favour, automatically Mbappe's you can't chat to them for this season in isolation.
I heard that.
He can't.
Okay, I understand.
But your headline wasn't that him winning the Euros is pivotal for him winning the Ballon d'Or. You said it's pivotal for his personal legacy. Is that what you meant?
Yeah, so I'll continue with that. In addition, we've been hearing reports, especially today, that Mbappe's actually signed all the contracts and he's going to Real Madrid.
Yeah, he has.
I think that he's joining a team that doesn't actually need him. He needs Madrid more than they need him currently, in my personal opinion. So they've already won the Champions League. They've already proven to us over the last 5 years they can win without Ronaldo, without Cristiano Ronaldo, without Gareth Bale. They've proven that to us already. You joining a team that has just won the Champions League
Doesn't do anything for your legacy.
Doesn't do any. Personally, it doesn't do anything for his legacy. I know he'll do. I know he'll do well there. I'm confident that he'll do well there.
What about the fashion that they may win it in?
The fashion. So
because you know that they've won these Champions Leagues, and yes, they've been them in, but it's quite. They've had to be quite rugged and almost, kind of just grit through a lot of results. If Mbappe gives them the ability to win in a more dominant style, could that do something for his legacy?
It could, but I don't see how one player especially because they have somebody so similar in terms of Vinicius.
Yeah.
We've seen the way that Madrid play and the way that Ancelotti sets them up. He allows his best players to thrive, basically. I don't think there's going to be a rigid system or a massive change in system when Mbappe gets there. If anything, it will be quite similar, and he'll just allow his best players to thrive. I think any way or fashion that they win the Champions League will be the same way that they've been winning it in the last few years.
Okay. So what you're saying is that they'll win the Ballon. If Mbappe doesn't win and Vinicius doesn't win the Copa America, or if Bellingham wins, they'll get the Ballon d'Or, and you think that will be a consistent kind of power dynamic of him coming into Madrid, which won't allow him to achieve the legacy.
Yeah, I think it would be incredibly difficult, quite similarly in a basketball sense to when KD joined the Warriors. You might be the best player in the world. However, you join in a team that doesn't actually need you to do what they've done the years prior. Means that what's that going to do for your legacy? Look at the way he's treated by basketball fans, and for even us in England. I watch a lot of basketball as well. Okay. But look at the way that he's treated in comparison to a player like Steph, who is your club. It's yours basically.
Okay.
Whereas it won't be his if he joins and they win again.
I've heard enough. Yeah, audacity. I thought it was pretty audacious. I mean, saying that, you know, Mbappe, you know, who is widely seen as the best player in the world, particularly when you're talking about ability. I think most people agree with that. Saying that he really needs this one tournament to essentially kind of be able to be the best of his time. In terms of credibility, this was the one area where I was like, I love the thing is, audacity and credibility, they always play against each other. It was very audacious, but the credibility, I was like, it's a bit of a stretch. I do think that there is a big possibility of Mbappe to work it back up, and I think what he's done before as well means that, you know, he can always, if he goes in and becomes the star of Madrid, I feel like the dynamic does change. But that's the only area where I thought, I'm not completely sold on it. Explanation I thought was good, and I thought that you dealt well with the points that we threw onto you about the fact that it's just 1 year. You explained why that might affect his power dynamic going through, which is a good explanatory point. So yeah, I'm giving it an 8.5. I thought it was really good, man. I thought it was a good argument.
Sorry.
They say my fellow judge doesn't think as such, so I think things are gonna balance out. But I thought it was good, man. I was enjoying it, man. Okay, cool.
So on the ace credibility, on the ace scale, so was it audacious? Yeah, I think it was fairly audacious, and more audacious than the one from the previous round. And I would actually say the general argument is credible, but I'm going to judge you on how you actually gave the argument. In the minute that you didn't really actually get onto the argument enough. So it was like,
I can't disagree with that.
That's a shortcoming. And I also feel like when you were answering our questions, you kind of didn't focus on your actual point of the Euros. You didn't highlight the Euros. You're going more into him coming to Real Madrid. You didn't tell me why the Euros. Why is the Euros so important? Because I partially agree with what you said. Obviously, I believe that his international form in general is going to have higher weight on his legacy than his club form right now, because he's joined Real Madrid, a very successful club that won the Champions League. But you didn't focus on the internationals part enough. So that's why I have to score you down on that mark. Okay. So I have sadly given you a 5.
A 5.
Yeah.
All right. Okay.
And that's what that 8.5. I thought I was good.
Yeah, no, he wasn't.
Okay.
Marcus wasn't feeling it as much. I thought, but to be fair, I was there giving him spare time on his first point. So. I just want the numbers. I'm sorry, guys. I slept for the bag.
Brown envelopes. That's all I'm saying. Brown envelopes.
Okay, cool. So the first round, engaged the Rondo. Khadar scored a 6 from both judges, giving him a 6 overall. Rahimi scored quite a high 8.5 from myself, and scored a 5 from Marcus. That was not too convinced.
5
so an average
crazy.
of 6.75 overall. So the winner for the first round is Rahimi. He goes in ahead.
One way or no way.
You're in for a shot, big man. Anyway.
It's going to get peaked.
Bro, it's going to get peaked.
It probably will. I'll take the first.
He doesn't know about those Khadar recoveries.
That's crazy. These are not his rounds.
These are not his rounds, bro.
Okay.
Quiz round where he starts.
What, quiz round is peak?
Yeah, guys. Oh,
bro.
So why did you man do this to me? I don't get it.
Guy won't let you breathe.
Withstand the Rondo.
The second round is called Withstand the Rondo. In this round, things get a little bit more interesting. Contestants have to think on their feet and defend a take given to them by the judges. Let's step through how this will work. So the judges will reveal a take they have formed themselves or from the wider Rondo family and fan base. Contestants will have to defend the take for 60 seconds. And then, of course, the Rondo will begin. Again, it will commence with first pass free as the judges instruct their rival contestant to ask a challenging question. Then the judges come in, and the Rondo goes into full flow as they grill them further on their defense. They will then receive a score out of 10 from each judge for the second round utilizing the ACE framework: audacity, credibility, and explanation. The contestant score from each judge will then be averaged out of 10 and the winner will be announced for the second round.
With Stand the Rondo, where we give contestants a rondo to argue that they haven't seen before. So they have to think on their feet and show us what they can do.
You might not agree with it, but you have to argue it.
Okay. Cool. All right.
So who wants to start first?
So
Rahimi
Khadar went first, so Rahimi, you start this round.
So Rahimi, your rondo is Palmer, Madison, or Foden deserve to play in the 10 over Jude Bellingham in the Euros this season.
Oh.
You have 10 seconds to think about it, and then you have to go into it.
Okay. All right, cool.
Do you want me to repeat it for you, or you got it?
Who were the three?
Palmer, Madison, or Foden deserve to play in the 10 over Jude Bellingham in the Euros.
Okay.
You can pick one, you can pick a couple.
Yeah.
So up to you.
Oh, the players.
The players, yeah. You can pick one, but you got to pick one. Or you can pick
all three
two.
of them if you
or you
want.
can pick all three if you want.
Okay,
if you want to
that's
really
fine.
get into the slander.
That's
All
fine.
right.
Three.
3, 2, 1.
Your minute starts.
Go.
Okay, in terms of footballing ability, I think both Palmer and Foden have more sort of raw ability and talent than Jude Bellingham does.
Ooh.
And when I say this, I mean in terms of chance creation, I see everything flowing through Palmer at Chelsea is the first thing. But in addition, I've seen Foden break through this season, and majority of the time when he's played centre midfield next to Kevin De Bruyne rather than off the right or off the left, he's been incredibly integral into the way they play and the amount of chances that they create. I can go back to the FA Cup final. Foden, people were saying, was quiet for most of that game. There was a couple of chances he created just being in that pocket where he passed it to Alvarez. Alvarez scores that's Foden in the headlines again. In terms of what England need, I think Bellingham can move into multiple positions. The issue now is that Bellingham's performed at such a high level at Real Madrid in that sort of centre-forward cam position that we're saying that he has to play there. However, if England need to create and chance creation is what we need, I think Foden or Palmer are better at creating chances than Bellingham is. Bellingham might be better at scoring goals and getting the clutch goal, but I think creating chances...
Time is up.
So
First pass free.
Okay. So Jude Bellingham, in your previous round, you argued that he could win the
you
Ballon
can't,
d'Or.
you can't do that.
Can I not do that?
You can't do that.
My bad.
You can't win that. Yeah, you can. Why not?
It's not, you can't go to
No,
the
because
previous
this
argument he made.
because this
The new
I had to
round.
argue this. Like
Oh,
I had
yeah,
to argue
yeah,
this.
all
Like,
right, all right, all right, all right.
My bad. I'll go again.
Say people would say.
like, I had to argue this.
I'll go again. So
Okay.
the consensus is that Jude Bellingham has been the best English player, like abroad and anyone in the Prem this year. Why do you think that any of the players that have been named deserve to play over him in the Euros?
He never said that's right. My bad.
Or what the Rondo is?
Yeah, well, in the 10.
So for me, you talk about Bellingham being considered one of the best players in the world. Phil Foden is also considered one of the best players in the world. He won PFA. He won PFA Player of the Year this year. Completely deserved. Integral to arguably the best team that we've seen in terms of the last 5 or 6 years in Premier League history. Phil Foden has been a mainstay of that team for the last 4 years, and this year broke through and was affecting games on an individual basis. Look what he did to Arsenal. On the last day of the season, the guy scored in the first 2 minutes. Arsenal's hope completely completely gone.
Smacked it top.
As in, he took the ball from outside the box. It's something that players,
That goal was
a
nuts.
lot of
was
players
peak, bro.
can't even think about doing that. He thought about doing it and executed it to the highest sort of form. I feel like what lets Foden down in terms of England is that he's not in the system and comfortability that he has with Pep Guardiola. But if we're talking about purely footballing aspect and pure talent in terms of chance creation and scoring, Foden is better than Bellingham.
So I've got an argument for you. So we're saying this is a 4-2-3-1, and that position in the 10. Foden has played 10 for England. Not a lot. Not enough in my view. He's also played out wide. Has never really turned up for England. England's best player in the last few years has been Bukayo Saka.
I agree.
Palmer hasn't played for England at that level. Also, has been amazing for Chelsea. Pressure's been low. Chelsea have been, quite pitiful around mid-table.
Of course.
But anyway,
You know what's mad? They
go to
finished
the-
above us.
to go to the point there, Jude, 19, has gone to Madrid. one of the most high pressure situations, this guy has consistently delivered. Even though they have a higher ability, should they start over Jude when we know that if you're thinking about can he really turn up, he's probably our best bet.
So I agree with everything you just said. In terms of clutch ability, I've seen him take over games by himself, just 1 goal or 1 assist when he needs to. I just feel like depending on how England need to play, Foden is more of a technical player in that hole. He can turn.
But it's not about how they need to play. It's who starts.
It's who should.
So
it's
who starts? Who starts on
play.
the first day in that 10? Given what I said.
Given what you've said, I have to argue this point. It has to be Foden. I'll explain.
All right, explain.
Given what you said, for me, it has to be Foden. PFA Player of the Year, as I've said before. Similarly, Bellingham was La Liga Player of the Year, right?
Yeah,
he was, right?
Yeah, he was
so they're both equal on that front. PR is what is taking a man, Jude Bellingham, who's 6'3", looking the way he does with the sharpest hairline on earth, in comparison to a man called Philip Foden. PR is the only reason, in my opinion, that people are saying that Bellingham should shoehorn start over Foden. It doesn't make any sense to me, because from a talent perspective, we've been hearing about Foden for the last 10 years, and he's actually delivering at the highest level. So that's why I'd start Foden.
So if you start the 4-2-3-1 and Foden starts in the 10,
yeah.
Where does Bellingham play? I'd
play Bellingham, but I feel like people have forgotten what Bellingham was doing at Dortmund and what he was doing prior to that. He doesn't just play at the 10. He plays where he's needed to play for his team. And good players are able to adapt and play wherever they need to accommodate for the team. Bellingham can do the box-to-box thing.
Okay.
I don't understand why people are saying he can't. We've seen him do it.
But they say that Rice struggles to progress the ball. Is Bellingham the best progressor of the ball? Does it work for the balance of the team for him to be the partner to Rice? People are saying someone like Mainoo, even someone like Wharton.
I'm never gonna shy away from backing my boy Mainoo. If you want him to start,
I'm saying people are saying that at the base for Rice, and we need someone of like Mainoo's profile, maybe Wharton. Mainoo seems to be the one over a Bellingham. They're saying that he can't progress the ball. So so does Bellingham start in that instance? Is it going to be the most balanced team?
Personally, I feel like good players find a way to play with each other and will find a way to succeed. If Bellingham cannot play with players as talented as Foden and Rice behind him, then something's very wrong. Something has gone disastrously wrong, in my personal opinion.
Cool. All right.
I'm going to start on the ACE framework. Like during the whole argument, I was going up and down. I went from a 3 to a 9. I was thinking, what's going on? But I feel like the actual Rondo itself, was it challenging? It was particularly challenging. I think it was quite challenging. But I would say that you didn't mention that I would like to have, I would like for you to have gone into further, is that Bellingham's performances in the Champions League towards the later stages they haven't been great, and that works to his detriment in terms of playing for the 10 for England. So you could have used that.
The reason I didn't though is because Foden, similarly, the latter stages, especially of the like when they played against United, he wasn't the best. In addition to that, they got knocked out of the Champions League as well, so he wasn't the best there.
But I still think it would be a big thing to mention in terms of Bellingham though, because I think but with Foden, but maybe wait for us to mention that.
But then what if I predicted? What if I'm just playing in a different game? If I predicted that?
But you're getting assessed now anyway.
Also, he kind of didn't help this, but a lot of the questions that were thrown at you were saying, I don't know why people decided to do that, because the Rondo itself doesn't say that Bellingham shouldn't start at all. It said that Bellingham shouldn't start in the 10. A lot of questions you were asking were based on the fact that Bellingham's not playing at all, which wasn't really the Rondo. It was kind of difficult to argue against.
Yeah. Go on.
So I had to mark you up based on these lots of questions.
Oh, that's perfect.
Yeah, so in general, I've given you an 8.
8. Yeah. That's good.
So if I say I feel like it's a fairly audacious Rondo. I think it's a hard one to deal with. I think it's a one that people in this country are struggling to answer at the moment, and it's really splitting opinions. In terms of credibility, I thought you gave a credible argument, kind of highlighting the fact that I like the focus on the chance creation. In terms of explanation, I just feel like it went a little bit up and down at points, just in terms of kind of handling certain questions. I thought, yes, to be fair, me and Khadar talking a bit about Bellingham starting went a bit off topic, but I feel like it's quite relevant, because if he doesn't start at the 10, I think there's a big question of where do you fit him in, because of how we see the balance of the midfield working. So yeah, but overall, like, pretty solid. But again, I just thought there needs to be a little bit more on the explanation side to really buy me in. But a solid performance. I've given it a 7.
Okay.
7.5 in.
Thank you.
7.5 overall.
Are you ready for your Rondo?
Yeah, man.
Ready?
Yeah, I'm ready. Yeah.
So today, Khadar, your rondo is: pragmatic football is more effective in international ball than system or free-flowing football. And start.
As we have seen in recent times, there's the best international teams have been a lot more pragmatic, as we can see. Like Croatia getting to the World Cup final 2018, they played a very they were kind of all together. They defended well, and they caught teams on the counter attack.
Yeah.
Added it to England in the semi final. Then again, also England, it backfired on them in the 2021 Euros final. However, what got them there was Gareth Southgate having a solid defensive line and allowing his players to go on and push on from there and counter attack more so than just playing as positive as I think fans would like them to play. Argentina also in the World Cup, they did play. Their football was a bit free. Obviously, Messi can do whatever he wants in any team he goes to, but the rest of the team was behind the ball, just trying to make sure that they didn't concede and they were able to maximize whenever they could attack.
Okay.
I think the only team that has really played free-flowing football and attacking system was the Spain team of the early 2010s, and they haven't been seen as one of the best teams in the world in a decade.
Cool. Nice.
First pass free.
First pass free.
So you touched on it briefly there, but I feel like in order to sustain a level of dominance, having a style of play is essential. We haven't seen, as you said, since 2008 when Spain won that Euros. Then they won the World Cup in 2010. Then they won the Euros again in 2012. Yeah. That is a sustained style of play and
sustained dominance.
Yeah, sustained dominance over a period. We haven't seen that since even France. So you talk about France and their team being as good as it is. No Euros in, what was it, 2016? I think they lost.
Yeah.
They still haven't won the Euros. So till then, they won the World Cup 2 years later. But then after that, they failed again in the last tournament. So even the best teams that we see, when there's not a strict or rigid style of play, maybe you can have success up to a point. But to get you over the line and have a sustained period of dominance, maybe back-to-back trophies, you need a style of play.
Cold.
I agree. However, we can go back to other systems like the Brazil teams from the 90s to the 2000s. That was just pure jogo bonito. The way they played, people might have seen it as a system. However, it was a system because they were just dominating teams just based off how good they were. Same with the Spain teams. However, I feel like those were like kind of 10 years apart also, or 7, 8 years apart. There hasn't been a system that's come back into football to say this system is just going to dominate the game from now on. And we haven't seen that since the tiki-taka of the early 2010s and the late 2000s. When we see that system, it might come back into international football. However, now it's just a lot more pragmatic. Teams are just trying to defend and just not concede rather than try to score more so, I believe.
Marcus, you got any questions?
No, actually. You?
I guess just a question on, you spoke about the Brazilian team. They were a bit more free-flowing, jogo bonito, and they dominated. We say Spain did it 10 years ago as well. Yes, there has been a shift, and we haven't seen it since, and it's been more pragmatic. But as Rahimi said, I still don't feel like there's an answer here. There's a couple of attacking styles of football that are about, like the kind of the more gun-ho pressing style and the kind of the tiki-taka style is still around, but we haven't seen an international team really implement that effectively. You think that's a non-factor? Like I'm not quite convinced that that's a complete non-factor in comparison to pragmatic football.
I hear that, but for like a lot of teams now, they play such different styles. A lot of international teams for their clubs that when they come together, it's kind of like the England golden generation issue. Okay. Whereas the golden generation is more, these men just hated each other, which at the time that's what the Prem was. But now, coming out of the system that's being coached into you through pre-season, through the whole of the season for 2 weeks in a training camp, it might be a bit more tough to do. So that's why managers will go for a lot more of a simple style of defend then attack.
Okay, cool. All right, Marcus, score up. All right, cool. Audacity, credibility, explanation. I don't think it was crazy audacious, I would say. I would say pragmatic football is more of what we've seen before, so I don't think it was crazy audacious. And then I think it's a fairly credible point, but I think explanation is not the easiest point to kind of talk about in the Rondo. Like, you need to think about the way teams play in a short amount of time. You need to explain tactics properly, which I think you did to a good level. I think there were some points though that I have to just hold you back a little bit on. I think You didn't mention France too much. I think they're a team that have been, in your initial point, you mentioned some other good sides, but France are a team that have done well kind of in recent years. And they play quite pragmatic, funnily enough. Rahimi did mention them. And then I think a good point to have made when he spoke about the fact that no one's really been dominant over this period in comparison to before is that nobody has been dominant, but probably the best side in the world, everybody would agree, is France. Yes, they haven't won, but a final, a World Cup win, and then a final again. You know, they're as close as we've got to a powerhouse, and they've been quite pragmatic. So I feel like if you mentioned that point, we could have got to, you know, the 8s, the 9s, but it will be a 7 today.
I mean, perfect agreement with everything A has said. I thought your initial argument was very strong, very, very clean. I don't feel like the way you answered the questions was kind of lacking at times. I feel like Rahimi's question was excellent, by the way. So
Rahimi hard, I can't lie.
I feel like you struggled under that pressure a bit, but I'm also going to give you a 7.
Yeah, that was a good question, Rahimi. Pretty much kind of rounded up any sort of grilling that I wanted towards that, but cool. So, withstand the Rondo. So Khadar, we just scored him. He was scored a 7 across the board, which gives him a 7 on average. But Rahimi, who started the round with his Rondo that he was defending about whether Bellingham should play in the 10 over the likes of Foden, Palmer, and was it Madders? Anyway, he got an 8 from Marcus and a 7 from myself, which gives him a 7.5 overall. So Rahimi also edges the second round as we go into somewhere where Khadar might just
This is the GBG.
might just win it back.
Yeah, this is I'm comfortable.
Cool. All right then. Conquer the Rondo.
Conquer the Rondo. In this round, it's all put on the line. The final round of the Rondo Show. Contestants go head-to-head in the quiz to decide on the winner, but of course there are some twists. They are asked 10 questions. We start with 2 word association questions, dubbed 2-touch and 1-touch. In the 2-touch round, contestants will compete in football word association, having 5 seconds to deliver their answer. In the 1-touch, contestants will only have 3 seconds to deliver their answer. Contestants will then be given a buzzer and go into typical head-to-head questions. However, there are still more twists. Contestants can be asked difficult split questions, where it may be in their interest to work together, as if neither succeed in answering the question in 30 seconds, they will both be docked 2 points should they proceed to the next round. Contestants can also be asked special nutmeg questions. These ones are a real stitch up. The question will be about one of the contestants' teams, and if they allow their rival contestant to get it, they will be docked 5 points. Because why are you letting another man know about your team? At the end of all the 10 questions, the round is complete. Scores will be tallied and the winner for the overall fixture will be announced.
And the topic for today is English midfielders with more than 10 caps. And I want you to start. Go.
Scholes,
Brian Robson.
Lampard. I'm not going to do them.
Paul Gascoigne.
Gerrard.
Chai. Wait a second. Declan Rice.
Foden.
No way. David Beckham.
Ince.
David Platt. Was he a midfielder? Or was he a striker?
Yeah.
Okay.
Conor Gallagher.
Ooh.
Mate,
He might.
I think he might do, you know. Yeah.
Okay.
All right, cool. Jude Bellingham.
Didn't I say that?
Did you?
I don't think you
I
did.
don't think he
I
did.
don't think you did, brother.
5.
Yeah, I've gone blank.
1. 0.
It's different when you're under the lights.
I thought I said Bellingham. Fuck.
No.
Nah, I don't think he did. But we might, you know, VAR. We'll see.
Yeah, so that obviously goes to Khadar.
Of course.
He won that one.
Cool, Khadar gets the first point.
Now we
Am I doing the scores? Yeah.
Yeah. Now we do 1-touch. This is instead of getting 5 seconds, you have 3
3
seconds.
seconds, yeah.
Shit.
And I think this topic's, I think it's going to be interesting. So it's the Spanish squad for Euro 2012.
Oh, God.
Oh, this is my childhood.
That's going to be different. This is childhood.
This is my childhood.
Yeah,
Okay.
hard still.
I'm
All right,
going to
cool.
start with Khadar and let's go.
Juan Mata.
Cesc Fabregas.
Sergio Ramos.
Fernando Torres.
Gerard Piqué.
Jordi Alba,
Ike Casillas,
Victor Valdez,
Sergio Busquets,
Xabi Alonso,
Iniesta.
Xabi,
Left back. Capdevila.
nope,
Incorrect.
nope. He's already gone.
That 2010
nice
World
one.
Cup
He's already
jingles me.
Hard round, bro.
Oh, Jordi Alba was the left back.
I said Jordi Alba already.
Fairs, man.
Villa,
There was a couple
Villa,
there. still,
Torres,
man. Jesus Navas.
Was Santi Cazorla there?
Pedro, Cazorla,
Santi Cazorla
I
was
thought you
there.
were going to do like all the midfielders.
David Silva. Yeah,
was there.
I thought you were going to go through midfielders.
Yeah,
That's
I
what I
thought
was
you were
waiting
going to
for.
go for them because
That's what I was waiting for.
Lorente, Negredo, Martinez, Albiol, Arbeloa.
Raul Albiol.
Albiol.
Alvaro
Raul
Arbeloa. This is Real Madrid heritage. Born Real Madrid.
Good one. You brought that one
Fairs,
back.
man, yeah.
Well, now it's time for the trivia questions.
This is where I lose, isn't it?
No,
This
have
guy,
faith,
this
man.
guy is scary in this, yeah?
Cool.
But,
Get the buzzers ready, my man, though.
yeah, so
And then it goes.
Okay.
who won the 1988 Euro final?
Netherlands.
Correct.
Oh my god.
I had no
Oh
chance.
my
It's the only
god.
trophy they've ever won in their history.
Oh my god.
Wait, hold on.
What's wrong with you? You're a maniac.
How many questions are there?
8.
There's 8. Do you get a point per question?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I've Gara lost. What the hell? You should have done more of the Rondo ones. I will win those.
Alright, cool. Where was Euro 2004 hosted?
Portugal.
Correct.
Hey.
Hey, nah.
Nah, this is.
Hey, they're gonna think I'm a nerd.
Who was the starting left back for Spain in the Euro 2008 final?
Capdevila, no?
Correct.
Oh my god. Hey, bro.
He played in the World Cup 2010. That's my first World Cup, innit? So I knew.
Hey, Rahimi has.
Do you know what it is though?
He has a twitch for his mother.
Yeah, no, because this is unfair, bro. No, mums, if you did more than one before, I would have patted this, but this is mad, bro.
He's not even twitching. He hasn't even twitched for the buzzer,
Oh,
bro. There's no
bro,
point, bro.
Okay. Who scored the winning goal in the 2016 Euros final?
There.
Correct. Ready? Who won the 1976 Euros?
Fucking hell. Germany?
Incorrect.
Ooh.
You have 10 seconds.
10 seconds. Did you hear that?
What?
Oh,
You didn't hear it?
What, the
Good.
answer?
Yeah.
It's calm, man. I ain't got an answer.
Okay, cool. So the answer is Czechoslovakia. Which team did England beat in the Euro 2020 semi-final?
I don't know why I buzzed.
You got to answer him.
Who do we play? Germany.
Incorrect.
Denmark.
Correct.
Right.
They've done it for Ericsson.
Did we play Germany? In that
Yeah, we
tournament?
did round
didn't it?
16 though.
We won in it.
Yeah, we did beat them.
Yeah. Who managed Spain in Euro 2012?
Vicente Del Bosque.
Correct.
Oh, quick. It's
You-
the
you-
Yeah, I knew that one. I knew that one. I knew that
He's a
one.
highly underrated manager, you know.
But you know, I don't press, bro. This
He's
is new to
quick
me.
with it, though.
This is new to me. Like I don't press. This is new to me, bro. Can I get smoked like this?
Bro, this is a man smoking. I can't lie. Have you got one?
No, bro.
How many nations that no longer exist have won the Euros?
1.
Incorrect.
Got 10 seconds.
2.
Incorrect.
Incorrect.
3.
Correct.
Correct.
Like we were just gonna keep that up. Like
I'll give you extra 5 points if you can name the 3 nations.
Czechoslovakia, USSR.
USSR is definitely one. I was gonna say Yugoslavia, but I don't think.
Did you? No,
No,
but
no, I
Yugoslavia
don't know.
won.
I don't know.
Is it Yugoslavia?
The question wasn't for you. I was giving him because he answered.
Oh, my bad, my bad.
No, no,
Oh,
bro.
my bad.
If you know it though, run
Oh,
through,
my
bro.
bad. I didn't realize.
Bro, if
Bro,
you know it, hard.
bro, that's good knowledge.
You got
like-
2 of them: USSR and Czechoslovakia.
That
What's
was
the
hard.
third?
That was so quick as well.
The third one.
Yeah.
What country doesn't exist anymore?
Euros.
All I'm thinking is Yugoslavia.
Oh, I know which one it is.
It's very obvious. To me.
Very obvious.
It's obvious.
Yeah.
Obvious.
Think about USSR. What was like related to that sort of
Don't give them history lessons, man. Let them
to that
think,
period.
Let them think of it for themselves.
East Germany.
No,
West Germany.
the other
West
one.
Germany,
West
bro.
Germany, bro.
What did East Germany win?
Yeah,
Yeah,
but that
West-
don't count.
oh,
That's
East
just
Germany,
Germany
right,
though.
right.
It's not just Germany. There's
But then
East
they
Germany.
Right,
merged
West
straight
Germany.
after that.
Yeah, West Germany,
Yeah.
bro. Yeah, no
Okay.
hard.
Done.
Beckenbauer and that.
Cool. All right, quickly. Okay, so the results are in. The final round is done. 3 rounds all done. So in the first round, Rahimi went in ahead with a score of 6.75 to Khadar 6. Edged it in the Engage the Rondo round. In the Withstand the Rondo round, again, Rahimi edged it again, going in with a 7.5 to Khadar's 7. Doing so strongly, doing so well. And then it all fell to pieces. Khadar slapped him silly and conquered the Rondo with a 7-2 score. So he takes it overall. Khadar with 20 and Rahimi with a score of 15.75.
Nah, man. That's nah, man. Honestly, though, when the comments, when the crowd sees this, they're gonna say you have to score that differently. How can I win 2 rounds out of the 3 and lose?
Yeah, what if you got a 10 out of 10 in the round
bro,
you would have been higher.
That's what they say in UFC.
That's
Chael
crazy,
Sonnen
bro.
was beating Anderson Silva
That's
for
bra-
5
Aye,
rounds.
you man
He
clip
got
have a
submitted.
Championship rounds.
You man clip this. You man clip this up and send it to me, innit? Because bro, that's mad.